Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Behind some of America's greatest achievements lies secrets, hidden events, and honestly, highly controversial decisions that absolutely shaped the nation forever. Some of these actually remained classified for decades, while others, well, they're still being heavily debated today. Just take a look at the question right here. What if the history you learned in school was only part of the story? Because, as we're going to see today, the standard textbooks definitely don't always capture the whole truth. Okay, let's dive into this. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover some of the darkest chapters in American history. It's time to dig into those classified decisions and hidden events. Let's begin. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with America's hidden history, then move into three very specific case studies: the Tuskegee syphilis study, Japanese-American internment, and Project mkultra. Finally, we'll wrap up with learning from our past. Section 1, America's hidden history, the stories still debated today. We're going to be looking chronologically at a few of these really dark chapters. Moving right along to Section 2, the Tuskegee syphilis study, a dark ethical failure in 1932 Alabama. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast it shows. Back in 1932, a medical study began in Alabama that would become one of the most massive ethical failures in U.S. history. Hundreds of Black men with syphilis were explicitly told they were receiving treatment. But in reality, many were deliberately left untreated just so researchers could observe the disease over time. To make matters worse, even after effective treatment actually became available, it was completely withheld from them. The participants were never properly informed. When the full truth finally became public decades later, it absolutely shocked the nation. The sheer gravity of this deception changed medical research ethics forever. Section 3, Japanese-American internment, fear over facts during World War II. Let's move our timeline forward a bit, to the widespread panic following the attack on Pearl Harbor. Look at that massive number right there, more than 100,000. After Pearl Harbor, fear spread like wildfire across the United States. And as a result, over 100,000 people of Japanese ancestry were literally forced from their homes and placed into internment camps. So the crucial point is this: many of these individuals were American citizens, and most of them had never been accused of any crime whatsoever, not a single one. They were entirely innocent people just caught up in this huge wave of national panic. Decades later, the U.S. government formally acknowledged a really sobering reality. They stated that this policy was, quote, driven by fear and prejudice rather than military necessity. Just let that sink in for a second. It's a heavy, objective, historical reality. Section 4, Project mkultra, the CIA's secret Cold War program. We're moving further along the timeline now into the Cold War era for our third case study. During this tense period, the CIA launched a highly classified covert program. As the definition here lays out, mkultra was a secret program explicitly designed to study mind control, experimental interrogation methods, and human behavior. Let's move to and see how this builds upon our earlier theme of medical ethics. Some of these experiments reportedly involved people who did not fully understand what they were participating in, a really critical lack of informed consent. And to complicate matters even further, many of the program's records were later destroyed. That basically erased the evidence, leaving us with mysteries and unanswered questions that continue to fuel public debate to this day. Section 5, Learning from our past and why acknowledging failure matters. Now, let's shift things from the shadows into the light and talk about why analyzing these dark parts of history is so incredibly vital for all of us. You see, history isn't only about the big, glorious victories. It's just as much about the mistakes, the incredibly difficult choices, and, most importantly, learning from them. True historical understanding means we have to look at the whole picture, both the amazing successes and the profound failures. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why it matters. When we take the actions on the left, understanding these dark events and actively acknowledging our past failures, we get the outcomes on the right. It empowers us to ask better questions, vigorously protect human rights, and make much wiser decisions going forward. Ultimately, a stronger society is built by facing the hard truths head-on. The darkest parts of history are often the hardest to face, for sure, but they can also teach us the most important lessons. So I'm curious, which historical event that we talked about today surprised you the most? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And hey, if you enjoy history, mysteries, and diving into untold stories, make sure to subscribe for more explainers every single week. Because sometimes the truth is even more fascinating than fiction.